Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Great Scott! There's no crying in baseball!
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
This is where the fun begins.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's right, we're ranking K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters is a 2025 American animated musical urban fantasy film. In the film, a world-famous K-pop girl group secretly balances their lives as pop stars with their mission to protect humanity by hunting powerful demons that threaten the world. I was pretty interested to watch this movie. I was kind of excited. I wanted to watch it. I'm not necessarily a K-pop fan in any way. I've never really listened to them, been forced to by my fiance to listen to BTS, and have, consumed some of their media, which I think I can admit is fairly entertaining to watch them do their interviews or game shows or whatever. I can find some fun in that. Don't really care about their music, but the audience for K-pop is so interesting. They're so diehard. They love it so much. They consume every little piece of media. It's such a fascinating part of Korean culture. So I was kind of interested to watch this movie to see if there was anything I was actually going to enjoy or if it was just going to be miserable for me because I am not the audience. Overall, I was a little surprised, a little not, right? I was interested. It had some good aspects to it. There are definitely aspects I did not enjoy that come from, Korean culture that I don't love. But I can accept, and it's different, and I like that. I like seeing something different, but there were definitely parts of it that surprised me with being pretty good. Let's get into how with the 10 essential aspects of a movie. First is plot. Does the movie follow a comprehensive story arc and is plausible within the world that has been created? I thought the plot was fun. It was interesting. It wasn't as interesting in the beginning. I had a hard time. It definitely was a rough start for me. But as the movie went on, I really kind of adjusted and realized that this is an interesting blend of kind of ancient Korean culture, their heritage, just kind of storytelling from long ago combined with the modern idea of K-pop culture, right? And I thought that was pretty cool. That's a cool way of kind of keeping your heritage and history, but adjusting it to a modern audience and combining the two. I thought that was really clever, really well done, right? There's a lot of kids movies coming out these days that are new ideas that just aren't very good. It almost seems like all the good ideas have been spent. And then you get a couple movies every now and then that come out and you're like, hey, that was pretty good, pretty creative. There's definitely better stories to be told out there. It's not over. I liked that they developed the purpose of the demons. I thought at first it was just kind of a bland, enemy. Of course, the demons are the bad guys, right? It's just super simple. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, but it is kind of boring. It's better when the villains are more complicated. And as the movie went on and you learned more about them, I actually thought they were really, really creative. It was such an interesting way to convey a lesson that I'll get more into in theme. So I thought the plot was creative for what it was, and it's kind of fun. Second is attraction. Does the movie have an interesting premise with a high entertainment value? I feel like this one's pretty cut and dry, right? If you're willing to watch a movie titled K-pop Demon Hunters, you're probably gonna like this movie because you're willing to pick up that movie and watch it with that title. If you're not, you're probably not going to like this movie. Third is theme. What message or truth is the movie trying to convey? I really enjoyed the theme of this movie. In the beginning, it was kind of a slow burn, didn't really know where they were going, but they did that on purpose, right? They're trying to make it entertaining and fun in the beginning, and then kind of slowly introduce some, more serious ideas, some more themes, some more plot points, and then by the end, you're actually learning something new, maybe subconsciously that you don't even realize there's some lessons learned there. A lot of great kids movies do that. This one's no different. It's a good theme. I really liked it. I like the way that they use the demons to represent your struggles. Pretty much everybody has some sort of struggles that makes them feel different. The reality is, as you grow up, you realize everyone goes through struggles, and there pretty much isn't a single struggle that you could go through that nobody else has ever been through. Most people in the world are actually a lot more similar than you think. I like the idea of having these hidden struggles and struggling with them, thinking that they're tearing you down and you're unworthy of love, right? You have no purpose because you have made mistakes or been treated a certain way your whole life, and that feels different than everybody else. But the reality is that can be a source of strength, right? You take all those negatives, turn them into a positive. They don't need to weigh you down. The fact that you are different can be an advantage and make you different. I really like it. I think it's I think it's great. I think it's a good lesson to learn and to teach people because everybody's going to struggle and everybody's going to have things that they feel ashamed of and feel like they need to hide. And subconsciously or maybe consciously, you're noticing that this movie is teaching you that all your negatives can be positives. You can take them and use them to your advantage to really shine and help other people by, noticing your struggles, talking about your struggles and how you came out of them and how you turn them around. It's just, I don't know, it was a really good theme that I wasn't expecting out of a movie like this and hit me harder than I thought by the end. Fourth is dialogue. Is there a real feel to the conversations? This is where I really struggled. This is where the movie just did not work for me. I did not find it funny. The movie is supposed to be funny and is very much this Asian humor, right? All their shows do this, animes do this, all of their reality shows do this kind of humor, the way they talk, this kind of like cutesy thing, exaggerated thing. If you've watched any kind of Asian media, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's not my thing. I don't like it. I think it's odd. But hey, that's how comedy's supposed to be, right? It's subjective. Not everybody's going to love it. There's definitely an audience out there for it. But for me, just did not find it that funny. Fifth is acting. Are the characters convincing? This is kind of hard. It's always hard to talk about acting when it is just voice acting. I think everybody in here did a solid job, right? Of course, the singing is really well done. They're all really good singers. Don't know how much computers help with that, but overall it was enjoying, there was a talent level there that was prevalent, right? You knew these people were really good at singing. There's not moments where you're like, oh, that sounds terrible, right? So they all do their job really well, but I don't know if there's anything or any one that stands out. Six is cinematography. Is there creative use of lighting, setting, and wardrobe to convey emotion? First, I want to say there is obviously effort put into this movie. I think that the animators and everyone involved in this movie put in some effort to try to make it stand out. Personally, not a fan of the animation. Didn't like it that much. It wasn't smooth. It was really choppy. I think that's on purpose. That's the way the animation's supposed to look. And I just didn't like it. I really noticed how choppy it was, just kind of frame to frame to frame to frame, rather than kind of being this smooth movement. It's all really choppy. And I think that kind of helps to the action. It does make it cool. Like I will say, there were moments where they were fighting where I thought it looked really cool. And it kind of leans into the anime style with that kind of animation to make the action kind of seem really fast and extreme. But for the rest of the movie, I thought it was just kind of odd. Something I didn't really love. But I can, get around that because it's a personal preference. But the real thing that I did not like was the mouth movement in this movie. Most of the time animations, I don't know if they even really say the words that they're supposed to be saying or mouth it, but your brain adjusts anyways and you don't really care. But in this movie, every time they sing, good Lord, they'll be singing like it's a lot of effort. It's like da 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 ba da ba da, like they're yelling, like it's loud. And then you see their character and they're like they're barely moving their mouth. They're like a little fish, and it's so odd. I don't know if anyone else cared, but my brain just couldn't. It just took me out of the movie completely. Not that it's supposed to be immersive, but I couldn't help but think that looks so weird. It takes away from the singing. It takes away from the animation. It takes away from the whole thing because their mouth is barely moving, but they're singing so loud. And I know that some people do that in music videos. Don't really watch a lot of them, but I've seen enough to know that they'll sing and then in the video, they won't be singing that loud, right? But even then, it looks weird to me. I don't know why you do it. If they're singing really loud, make their character match it, right? Put some effort in. Give them a big mouth. Do stuff that makes sense to where it just doesn't make these weird, awkward moments where it's like, okay, you're supposed to be singing, but it really doesn't look like it. It looks like you're about to whisper in his ear rather than the audio I'm hearing where you're literally screaming right now. As far as emotion goes, did not happen for me. I do think if you're a K-pop fan, right, if you like all this stuff, there's some emotion to be had because you can really get into this movie. I just couldn't. It's not for me. So the emotional aspects of this movie that they were going for did not work for me, but I don't know if it's because they don't work at all or if I'm just the audience. I'm not the audience they're going for, so it just didn't work for me, but it still does work for the people that they made it for. Seventh is editing. This is all about the pace of the movie. The movie is an hour and 36 minutes long. perfect, honestly. I'm glad it was that length. It was honestly a little long for me because I didn't love it all that much, but I was glad it wrapped up when it did. If this would have been a 2-hour movie, honestly, my opinion of this movie would be way more negative. But the fact that it was within that hour 30 limit made it a little bit more enjoyable. 8th is soundtrack. Now, this is a musical, right? So this is a huge part of this film. And I will say, I am not a fan of musicals. Don't like them. A lot of times they don't really make sense. I hate it when it doesn't make sense to the movie. If the people singing and the songs make sense to the movie going on, it would, you know, in the movie, it makes sense that these people are singing rather than like High School Musical where you're in a high school and randomly people start singing because it's lunchtime. Then I can enjoy it a little bit more. And I will say, for them being K-pop stars, a lot of the singing in this movie made sense, right? And because they sang to keep away the demons or fight the demons, honestly, a lot of it made sense. So it definitely made the singing aspect of the movie better, more tolerable, because it wasn't just random singing that just completely takes me out of the fact that it's a movie. Or the story, and I'm trying to get emotionally invested in the story, and then something random happens that really just takes me out of it. It kind of makes sense for this movie, and so it's not as hard, it's not as harsh. For the music itself, normally for musical music, not a huge fan. I'll say this one was definitely tolerable for someone like me. Didn't mind it. Did I love all of it? No. But some of it's pretty dang catchy, I can't lie. I mean, I'm tapping my foot to Soda Pop, and what it sounds like is pretty epic, right? It was an awesome final song. It was pretty cool. I was like, dang, this is sick. So I think the music was really catchy. They did a good job with the soundtrack. I think it's a lot of fun. People who are going to watch this movie that, you know, like K-pop, they're really gonna love all the music in this movie. So I think they accomplished their goal really well. 9th is directing. Now I feel the director is in charge of the previous 8 aspects. They're the ones that have to put it all together, give it their stamp of approval, and make a really good movie. Now there is actually 2 directors to this film. First one being Maggie Kang, and this is her first film ever directed, and Chris Applehands, which this is his second film ever directed. He had also directed Wish Dragon. I have not seen Wish Dragon, and obviously with these two not having much director experience, I'm sure they've been around film for a long time. I like it. I think they knew exactly the audience that they were going for, and they nailed it. It was popular. I remember it being very popular among K-pop fans, and so I feel like they knew exactly what they were going for and did that. I think that's a trait that directors really need to learn, right? If you're gonna make a movie about K-pop, then you need to appeal to the K-pop audience and know everything that you need to put in there so that you're satisfying that audience and maybe catching other people with the fact that you've just made a good product, right? And that's exactly what I think they did. So I look forward to hearing whether they're going to make any new things and watching them as well. 10th is time. Will it stand the test of time? This one's kind of hard because it's in an area that I don't really know other movies, right? I don't know how many other K-pop movies there are. I don't really know Korean animated movies at all. So it's kind of hard to tell whether it would stick out. I think obviously to the people who watched it and enjoyed it, it's going to stay with them. So in some ways, yes, I think it will stand the test of time. The hard thing is the fact that it is a pop culture thing, right? Maybe culture changes in 50 years, and this movie, you look back on it and think it's really cringe and old and stupid. I do think that that's a very high possibility with a movie like this because it is such a take on a time frame of culture, right? A snapshot of today's culture rather than trying to appeal to, 20 years in the future, 40 years in the future. So I think it might lose its luster in time, but people who enjoyed it when it came out, I think they'll always enjoy it and come back to it and have fun with it. Now for the review section. Rotten Tomatoes critics gives it a 91, the audience gives it a 99, and IMDb gives it a 74. I am not in the 90s category, right? But I'm also comparing it to every movie ever made, not just how much I liked the movie. I think 74 is low. I do think this movie belongs in the B range, like in the 80s, right? There's no emotion for me. I'm not the audience. So there's a lot that I can't take away from this movie and give it credit to putting it in that A category compared to every movie I've ever watched. But I will say that it had a purpose and it fulfilled it. But then I think it also fulfilled it in such a high quality and such a high level that other people can also enjoy it, right? And it'll stand out on its own against its peers. So I think this movie is really in the B range. Like there's fun to be had, but it also has a nice, good lesson. This is just a solid, well-made movie that I think a lot of people could enjoy if they give it a shot. Finally, for the rankings. for the year of 2025 out of 34 total movies on the entertainment side. It is going to be 11th, just below Fantastic Four, First Steps, and above Final Destination Bloodlines. So these movies probably, I don't know, they may not make sense to be put around, but I do have that tier system, so this is the tier that it got put in. I do have it below Fantastic Four, First Steps, personal preference, right? I would rather watch that movie again. My kind of movie. I don't think as I get older, I'm going to love watching K-pop Demon Hunters, right? I'll probably actually enjoy it less as I get older, but overall, it's still a good time, right? There's some fun to be had, but it's just not my kind of movie. Now, I do have it above Final Destination Bloodlines. I think more people are going to enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters. If I had to watch one over the other, I do think K-pop, right? It's kid friendly. I kind of care about that now at my age when I know I'm going to be a parent, right? So I like knowing movies that I can watch with my future kids and stuff. So I just think that this movie is going to be more appealing to a general audience than something like Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, cinematically, out of 34 total movies, it is going to be 6th, just below How to Train Your Dragon and above Dogman. So it's a kid movie, right? It's well done, pretty creative, has good animation, good for a musical, short for a musical, right? Usually those are like 2 hours, but hey, hour 30, pretty solid time. I got it below How to Train Your Dragon. Personally, I think that How to Train Your Dragon overall does better for the emotion, right? A little more emotion. Is it way better? No. But for me, K-pop Demon Hunters didn't have that. So for other people, they would put it higher, but for me, it just didn't do that for me. Now, I do have it above Dogman. Dogman, I think, is a little bit more of a mess. I think K-pop did a better job of being a pretty cohesive package, where Dogman is creative, does actually have a surprisingly emotional aspect to it, but that first half of it is honestly really a mess and isn't that good of a movie. So I can't give the whole movie credit for only half of the movie being good. Now, for the decade of the 2020s, out of 78 total movies on the entertainment side, it is going to be 32nd, just below Deadpool and Wolverine and above Final Destination Bloodlines, right? So above Final Destination for the exact same reasons as before, below Deadpool and Wolverine, again, personal preference. Is it kid friendly? No, but I just have more. I just had more fun with it, right? I can have more fun with Deadpool and Wolverine, even though I don't think it's a great movie. Entertainment wise, it definitely does have some funny aspects to it. Now, cinematically, out of 78 total movies, it is going to be 21st, just below How to Train Your Dragon and above Dogman. It's there for the exact same reasons as before. And finally, all time, out of 96 total movies on the entertainment side, it is going to be 48th, just below Deadpool and Wolverine and above Final Destination Bloodlines. It's there for the exact same reasons as before. And cinematically, out of 96 total movies, it is going to be 32nd, just below How to Train Your Dragon and above Dogman. It's there for the exact same reasons as before. All right, that's all I've got for K-pop Demon Hunters. I was excited. Did it meet my expectations? Pretty much. I think it actually went a little bit farther. I really liked the theme, but overall, I liked this movie about as much as I thought I would like it. There were moments that I was like, oh gosh, like the whole scene where they're eating before their tour and then they go and fight on the plane, like at the very beginning. I was like, ooh, I'm not going to like this movie. This is going to be a rough watch. But as the movie went on, I did like it more and more, especially as they expanded on the real story going on between the demons and their singing. I thought it was fun, you know, there's fun to be had. I'm not exactly the audience, so if you watched it, please let me know what you thought down below. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? I'd be curious if people really didn't like things about it. People who did like it, was there anything you didn't like that you wish they did better? I would really love to hear that. I love when people comment. I'm a small channel, so of course I comment on everybody who comments. I read them. I like having a community, fostering some sort of community, so where we can talk about movies and get to meet people who also love movies. Please comment a movie down below if you want me to review it. I'll put it on a list and get to it eventually, but otherwise, I'm Mr. Majoritarian. Stay classy, San Diego.